Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Good evening and welcome to the She Is Me Project 2021. It's been a while since you've seen us. We missed you last year. We were forced to take a break because of COVID-19. But this year we decided we'd find another way to bring our project to you. And I'm thankful to Access TV for granting us that medium to be live in front of you this evening. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're enjoying the weather wherever you are. We had a very sunny day today, and I'm thankful for that. This evening, our theme is Because We Can. And I've had a couple of folks reach out and ask me, what does that mean, because we can? And it's simple, because we can. I have some phenomenal ladies here this evening to talk to you about what they do in life or what they have done in life. And I think you're going to be very entertained, and you might learn something this evening also. If you have any questions for any of our contributors, you can submit them through the comments, and we'll make sure they get answered at the end of the program. And also, I'd like to ask you, there's no charge for this event. Normally when you come to see us and we're in a theater, there's a ticket price. There's no charge for this event. However, we are still doing our annual backpack drive. So it takes funds for us to have money to purchase those backpacks and the supplies to fill them up. So if your heart so moves you to, feel free to make a donation for our backpack drive, and you can do it through my Cash App, which is $, Cherie Paid, and we will be very thankful. We're not saying you have to. It's just those folks that if you want to support it, please do so, and thank you for that. We're going to do our interviews one by one, and each person will come before you, tell their story. And as I said, if you have any questions for us, please feel free to submit them at the end of the comments. I've been blessed, truly blessed, in spite of COVID. I have a dear friend that said I needed a song, and we agreed because I've been doing this since 2014, and I kept saying, I need a song, I need a song. She surprised me this year and wrote the song, put it to music, and she's going to sing it for you this evening. So I'm asking you to stay tuned for the brand new She Is Me theme song. Enjoy. And don't leave. Don't leave. She's going to sing, but after she sings, we'll be right back and we'll continue with the rest of the program. And my first interview is a dear friend, Gracia Jimenez Martin. She's a very busy woman in her shop, so we did the homework in advance, and this is her story. This is her interview, so please enjoy. And Gracia.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Tell me, if I didn't know you, tell me some things about you. Help me to get to know you.
Well, I am Jamaican, was born on the beautiful tropical island of Jamaica, Kingston, capital city. I grew up in the city, running around doing everything that kids do. I was always a very creative child, so I used to love to draw, paint, sketch, dabble with a little pottery. I was just always into making things because of that creative spirit that flows within me. And if we're gonna touch on another part of it, I am also Rastafari.
Understood.
So I think in a nutshell, that tell you who I am. And for most other people, I am the leather genie. I grant leather wishes because the medium by which I express a lot of my creativity is leather. So I make all things leather. Of all the things that I do, leather kind of bring everything together. I am a pretty good seamstress. I am a cabinet maker. I'm a mason. I'm a plumber. I'm everything you can think of. I have all these skill set, you know, and my tagline with that is, as a Rasta child, you have to be very versatile. So based on that, I just kind of make it my life to acquire different skills. And over the years, I have done a lot of things from a professional standpoint as far as jobs are concerned. You know, I taught school for a bit. I did social work for a bit. I did sales for a bit. I did some management for a bit. But then I finally settled on being the leather genie, and that allowed me to put everything that I have learned through the years into that. So this year embodiment is Rasilina, the leather genie. Whatever your leather wish, I grant it. I don't know if that tell you who I am in a nutshell.
It does. It does. Now, you mentioned that you first gained your interest in leather crafting as a young girl in Jamaica. Did you take formal training classes, or how did you learn your skills?
Actually, I learned shoemaking first. Shoemaking was the very first thing I learned in leather craft. And I learned that by spending a summer vacation in a shoemaker shop. I think I literally apprentice out myself to the shoemaker, and I pick up all the shoemaking skill right there. And by the time the summer was over, hey, I was a pretty skilled shoemaker. I was able to make a shoe, like cut it out from scratch, create the uppers, the bottom, and everything. And kind of my graduation from that program, I kind of challenged myself to build a pair of shoes. So I made a pair of shoes for my mom, you know. It was a very well-treasured pair of shoes, you know, extremely comfortable, and she really loved it. Yeah. She used to wear it all over the place, everywhere she going. Especially if she's going to be on her feet for long periods, because it was that comfortable.
Awesome. So your interest grew into a business, basically. And
yes, it kind of pulled me along that direction. I never really start out and decide that, yeah, I'm going to be doing leather craft for my life career choice as it is now. I think it kind of chose me in that I was somewhere learning something else many, many years later, because I learned that shoemaking skill set when I was like 14 years old.
understood.
So I moved on in life. I did a lot of other things. And then one day I was somewhere learning woodwork of all things, and the guy who I was learning woodwork with was also a skilled leather craftsman, and he made an artist portfolio for somebody. The day when he made it, I wasn't there, so when I went the following day, there was all these leather scrap on the ground, so I picked them up and started playing with it, and right away, everything that I learned in shoemaking kind of just came back to me, and I proceeded to make a sandal. I wasn't into woodwork that day. I just made my sandal, wear it home. I was sharing a house with my sister and two other young ladies, and when I went home, everybody was crushing on the sandal, and everybody loved it, and hey, where you get that? And I'm like, oh, I made it. And one of the girls was like, oh, come on, you too light, you didn't make that. I said, of course I made it. She said, all right, can you make me one? I said, sure. So I said, all right, it'll cost you $20, 20 Jamaican dollars at the time. And she said, all right. So I went off the next day, and I got all the material, and I made her sandal, and I carried it home for her. And she was impressed, and so was her sister. Her sister was, oh, so you're really not lying. So I made one for her. My neighbor saw them in it. She wanted one. I made one for her. And that same neighbor, one day she come and she said, Gracia, my nephew is graduating from high school. Can you make him a wallet? And I'm like, sure. I never really make a wallet before, but hey, I can make shoes. What is in a wallet? So I made him the wallet, and she was quite happy. So was he. And over the years, it just evolved like that. I think what it is, people challenge me, because each time they walk in and somebody say, can you make this for me? Mm-hmm. I'm like, sure. And I just make it. It just come naturally and easy, effortlessly. It doesn't have to be something that I've ever made or ever seen. If you walk in my shop, from you can describe it, I'll create it.
True.
Hence my tagline is Gracilini, the leather genie. Whatever your leather wish, I can grant it. You know, just like that. So yeah, I mean, I used to make shoes for my husband. All his friends used to be jealous, you know.
Yeah.
Them see him in these shoes, and I'm like, hey, how come on? I said, oh, Gracia make it, and you're like, what? Yeah, I used to make shoes for my whole family.
So it sounds like none of the other skills and none of the other jobs that you held had the impact on you that leather crafting did.
No, there wasn't that satisfaction. For me, leather craft for me is a love affair. You know, I tell people that all the while. It's like, once you fall in love with leather, it's like, you just never break your heart. You just keep going and going, and you just can't stop. It's an addiction for me, put it that way. Mm-hmm. Leather is my addiction.
It's a good addiction, I think.
Yeah. Whenever I go to the leather, hey, you want me to be in ever? Take me to a really large leather store. I went to a leather store called Springfield Leather in Missouri. And when I walk in that place, I felt like I had died and gone to leather heaven. There was so much leather inside that place, man. I went in there from 9 o'clock, and my daughter was with me at the time. She was a lot smaller, and about 2 o'clock she was like, oh man, I'm hungry. I'm saying, oh, you just had breakfast. And my friend was like, Gracia, it's after 2. Okay, so yeah, I can easily get lost and immersed in a leather shop like that. I just love leather. Me and leather have a special relationship. I'll go to the leather store and I'll buy a bit of leather, not because I have a project in mind, but because I'm walking by the shelf and the leather call out to me, and the leather is like, hey, Gracie, you need to take me out of here. I'm like, okay. I'll take it and I'll put it in my shop, and I don't have a decision as far as what I'm going to use it for. It's just there. And I'll walk by it a few times, and one day I'll be walking by, and that other piece of leather will be like, so, Gracia, how long am I going to sit here? Isn't today the day you're supposed to do something with me? And I'll pull it out, and, you know, I just rub my hand like this on it a few times, and it's hard to explain, but the leather tell me exactly what it want to be.
Wow.
You know, and so then I'll create a piece, and my favorite thing to create are one-off. There are some bags that I make and I just don't make them again. It can be a bag, a wallet, a belt, anything, but there's something about that particular piece of leather that I just use that, and it's just a one-off. I can't recreate that. It don't matter if I try, I can't recreate it, because the spirit and the energy of that piece of leather is not going to live in another piece of leather. So I don't know if all of this is getting a little bit too...
No, I mean, this is clearly something that you love. So when people are passionate about something, they can talk about it forever. And I had the privilege of attending your classes. That was one thing that impressed me. Not only do you have a love affair with leather, but you're willing to train other people that have an interest. And I attended one of your classes, and the first thing we made, I think, was belts. So I made my very own belt.
Yeah.
And she takes you through the whole process, guys. She teaches you the tanning, because when you have a piece of leather, it's not always necessarily the color it winds up you want it to be. So she taught us how to tan it and
Not exactly tan your leather, dye.
well, dye. I
Yeah,
say
to show how
tan.
dye and finish it.
So
Yeah.
we learned that, and then we actually learned how to finish the piece, even add decorations to it. So, and she offers other folks the opportunity also. So if you're interested in making something out of leather, you want to check her out.
Yeah, you definitely want to check out Libations and Creations. Usually the third Thursday of most months, except this pandemic season, we're still trying to figure out things. But now, things is settling down back, so you can follow us online, The Leather Genie, be it Instagram, Facebook, anywhere on the internet you type in The Leather Genie or Grasslini Creations, I'll pop up and there will be enough information. So if you keep following, then you'll see when Libation and Creation becomes live again.
And could you tell the audience, for those of us that are local or folks that may be coming to this area, could you tell us where you're located?
Oh, Grasslini Creations is at 1007 Main Street, over there in East Hartford, 06018.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't ask me why I stumbled on my zip code a while ago, because I have too many zip codes in my head. That's why. Yeah. I don't know. When I introduce people to leather, I try and get them to be just as passionate about it. So that is why when you come to Libation and Creation,
Yeah.
you have so much fun. And by the time you leave, you have bragging rights. Whether it's a key ring you create, a wallet, whatever, a belt, everybody usually leave feeling quite happy. Matter of fact, people usually don't want to leave. I usually have to be pushing them out the door.
Yeah, I remember the night that we were there. Our class hung around pretty late.
Yeah, class supposed to wrap up at 8 o'clock, but sometimes people there 10:30, even later. It's like they just don't want to leave because they come in and they get hooked. Leather will do that to you. Come in and the leather just suck you in and you want to stay.
Well, thank you for giving us a bird's eye view into the leather world. I'm sure you just scratched the surface, but I appreciate you sharing your passion with us. And like myself, like a lot of people think, oh, well, leather craft, that's a man's thing. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's anyone that has an interest and has the talent and skill to pursue it, correct?
Yeah, anybody who want to pursue it. And sometime when you have your dream and you want to pursue it, just go for it. You can't listen to a lot of people because a lot of people are dream killers.
True.
So if you have a dream, like when I dream about opening my own shop, I came here and that was something I want to do because I used to do leather craft back home. So I wanted to open my own store, and there were folks who were like, you open a leather shop? How for nobody not gonna buy? I mean, there is the mall, and people tell me all those things, but when I have a dream or a vision, I get what I call tunnel vision. I just look straight at that, and I think of everything and everybody as distraction, and I don't allow anything or anybody to distract me. I just keep focusing. So I was working at Tandy Leather on Main Street, and then there's this liquor shop, used to be a barber shop, and that became available. And I'm like, what? Yeah, that looked like my shop, When I say it looked like my shop, personally, I never really have any money or any stock or anything to put in this shop. But I went and I talked to the landlord. I gave him some lyrics that was pleasing to his ears, and I gave him my security deposit to secure the building. So while the other guy was preparing his new spot in order to come out of this place so it can be vacant, I use that time like in the nights when I go home and I would make stuff, make bags, belts, everything, because I'm making stock for my shop. And when I eventually moved in my shop, it was magical for me, but like everything you try to do, there's always something to come in your way.
True.
So like 6 months after I was in my shop got broken into. There was hardly anything in there for anybody to steal, but somebody came in and liberate a lot of my merchandise. So the day I went to work and there was a cop outside the door and he's like, is this your place? I'm like, yeah. He said, somebody broke in last night. And I'm like, yeah, did they leave any money in there or something? Because I'm thinking somebody see I'm trying and they decide they're going to give me a push start. So they're going to break in and put some money in there, you know. So when I went in there and I saw all the things that were gone, I mean, they were so low that they stole my dollar. You know that first dollar you make and it's in a frame? They even stole that dollar. And I started to laugh and my daughter was with me at the time and she started to cry. And I'm like, Amira, don't cry, man. And she's like, Mommy, they stole your stuff and look at... I'm like, my girl, that was just the devil picnic trying to come into Rasta yard, come mash up them business. So, fortunately, they did not steal my CD player. So I pop into Bob Marley in there. and I the cops dust for prints and all of that, and of course all that black powder they sprinkle. So I clean up the place and I just start play to Bob Marley and get into my work. So by the time all the other business on the strip heard that my place got broken into and everybody was more upset than me. You know? They couldn't understand why I wasn't upset, but...
Well, I think they probably felt for you because here you are, a brand new business trying to get started, and someone comes and puts this on you. I mean, I think that was a normal reaction for everyone.
Yeah, but for me, that was just distraction.
Yeah.
That's just something come to distract me from what I think of as my purpose of pursuing my dream of being the leather genie and taking leather to the world, basically. You know? So... yeah, so that was an interesting part of it. And yeah, I have since recovered from that. I had a little joke that day when the insurance person from next door came over to sympathize, you know, and I'm like, all right, Blossom, I got the message. So what's that? I said, you tell me I needed insurance, but I didn't listen to you. So, fine, I got the message, okay.
Right, I'll get some insurance.
So, yeah, right away I had to put now an additional expense on my business because now I had to get insurance and I had to get an alarm system. And that little shop was just magical because when I paid my first month rent, I had no idea where the second one was coming from. But every single month, my rent, my utilities, and the additional insurance and alarm, all of that stuff was paid. I never once had to look at my landlord and be like, well, you know, no. First of the month, that man used to be so happy. He could literally put on him pat and wait on me.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can't make anything distract you, Sherry. You have to just go for it.
You're so correct on that. So correct. You hear that, audience? Don't let anything distract you from your dreams. Now, Gracia, would you please tell the audience why you agreed to sign on for the She Is Me project this year, the Because We Can? Would you tell us that?
Oh, you mean other than the fact that Sherry's awesome?
I was not fishing for a compliment, but thank you. I'll take it.
Yeah, the concept of Yes We Can, it's very important that our people understand that yes, we can. Whatever it is that we put our mind to, we can do it. I mean, sometimes people fall by the wayside and they do negative things and they do it so good. So why not flip the script and do the positive things and do it extremely well? And sometimes somebody might have a dream or a desire, but they think it can't happen.
True.
Because they've never seen or heard anybody before say, this can be done. So, yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons I sign on. Hopefully I can motivate or inspire somebody else. And if you're out there as a young person and you have an interest in leather, hey, the leather genie is always looking for apprentices. So, hey, just stop by the shop.
Thank you. And one last question for you. Could you tell me one of the most unique, I'll say, items you've made from leather?
One of the most unique item. There have been a few, but okay. I have made a couple leather swimsuit for this lady, and yes, you can make swimsuit from leather because there's actually leather that is washable. There's a particular type of leather. Believe it or not, it's made from pig skin, but it's called velvet suede. And as the name suggests, it's velvety soft. So that make great leather swimsuits. And once a guy came into my place, said he was an exotic dancer and he wanted me to make a harness for his penis. I don't know if this is prime time.
Okay.
But I made a penis harness for a guy once.
Wow.
Yeah. I've made knife sheets, gun holster. Oh, yeah. And I also do quite a bit of work for people who is into bondage and stuff like that. And they want different type of harnesses and restraint. Yeah, I do a little bit of that. But that's not primary what I do. As I say, I grant leather wishes.
True.
So I don't tell you what you want. You walk in and you tell me what you want. And I tell you yes.
The Leather Genie. Thank you so very much. I so enjoyed talking to you this evening, and thank you for signing on and becoming a part of this year's She Is Me project. I greatly appreciate it. And folks, this was made from leather. For me, since I love the color purple, it's a purple rose. So, just to show you the quality of her work. Thank you, Gracia.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And we'll be back.
If I see you struggling, my sister, and I know I've been there too, I should take what I have learned and pass it on to you. Let's lift one another up. It really doesn't take that much. Help a sister when you can. Lend a helping hand. Encourage your sister and celebrate her success. So when your turn comes around, you will also be blessed because she is me, and I am she. We are stronger together, together, together. Can't you see? I am she, and she is me. We are stronger together, together. Can't you see? She is me. I am she. She is me.
And we're back. What did you think of my song? Yes, my song, the She Is Me song. I'm so excited. So excited. That was my dear friend, Teresa Harris. She wrote it. She put music to it. And she sang.
Oh, thank you.
I am on cloud nine. And she's here with me now. Teresa Harris, how are you?
I am great, and I'm proud. I'm happy. I'm excited.
Awesome.
All of that.
All of that.
All of that.
All of that in a bag of chips.
Yeah, all of that. Yep, yep.
This woman, I can't even begin to tell you who she is because I would be here all night. I will let her do it, but she's one of the most talented, gracious, and loving people I've met in a long, long time. and she lets me call her sis. So I am so privileged to have that honor. So here we are.
Hello, sis.
Hello, sis.
Uh,
Thank you for my song. Imagine 7 years doing this, and I finally get my own song from you. Thank you. You don't know what that means to me. And it's a beautiful, beautiful song.
Thank you so much. The thing was, I was riding along in the car, and all of a sudden the words came to me. And every time I stopped at the light, I would write down. I had no music to it at the time, but I would write down a little piece here. Then when I got home, I'm like, what kind of music can I put to this song? And so I got home and kind of figured out how the melody would go. But it was a pleasure to come up with that.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. I can't say that enough. Now, I know you, but let's say I don't know you. I need you to tell our audience just who Teresa Harris is. Give us a little bit about your background and all of your talents and all your skills and where you came from, all that good stuff.
Now you guys out there know it's tough to talk about yourself, but the first thing I would like to say is I thank God for him being my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's the first thing I want to say.
Amen.
I thank God because I've been in the church since I was 12 years old, St. John's Church. I have a beautiful family. My son and my daughter, my grandbabies, they are my world. And I have a lot of kids who are not by blood. I have a lot of people who I consider my children, my sisters, and all of that who are not by blood. So that's the first thing I want to say. That's the most important thing in my life. I've done a lot of things, and the miracle of the things that I've done is I didn't always have the talent to do certain things, but God kind of made a way for it. I played for our junior choir at church for 25 years, but I never had training to play. I just wanted to do it, and a lot of times the kids would sing songs that I made up because I didn't know how to play the popular songs. So I would make up songs, and I would study what hands I was supposed to put, what fingers I was supposed to put my keys, what keys I was supposed to put my fingers on to play the different chords and stuff, because I was determined. I wanted to do it in my heart. So that was one of the things I did. Played for the children. I worked for the bank for many years, and that was another miracle. That's why I say if you just open your heart up to God, miracles could happen. Because I played for, it was Bank Boston at the time, the Bank Boston chorus. They hired me for the Bank Boston chorus, and I didn't, as I said, I wasn't even formally trained to play, but they ended up using some of my songs about diversity and about teamwork and all of that. The bank used those, and I was not formally trained, but God blessed me because I had a desire to do it. And so that was, I call those miracles. I call those miracles, yeah.
And I agree, they are.
Yeah.
That's
so,
God opening doors for you.
Yeah, he opened a lot of doors for me. And the other thing I got into was acting. I tried my hand at a little acting there for a while. I was in a play with our friend, Miss Barbara Stevens.
Yes, Miss Barbara.
It was called How Long Must I Wait? And I got the little acting bug from her. And so that was my first thing at acting. And then I auditioned for Lest I Forget from the Boat to Lest We Forget from the Boat to Obama, which was at the Bushnell. And I played different parts in that for many, many years. And what else did you want to know about me?
Whatever you want to tell us.
Whatever I want to tell. Okay, I've been producing my little television show, Diversity in the Community, since 2008.
Wow.
That's another thing. Didn't know really what I was doing with the camera. I knew I was fascinated by it. I was fascinated by my ex-husband had bought me a camera. One of them ones that had you put the big old VCR tapes in. But he had bought me that, and I would go and try to film some of everything. But I was working with a lady one time, and she asked me if I would film an event that she was at. It was the police department was they were having parents come and they would check out the car seats to make sure that they were secure and all that. So she was interviewing,
Right.
and I was doing the taping. And so she asked me, she said, would you like to become a part of, be on the board for Win TV? And I said, yeah, sure. And so I got on there, and then I started seeing how they were editing the programs. I'm like, I would love to do that too. And so I looked at YouTube videos. I read everything I could on how to edit. So I started taking my camera out and started to film things and learned how to edit them on my own. Of course, I taped your first She Is Me program.
Very first She Is Me.
Yes, at the, what was that, in Hartford?
That was at the Charter Oak Theater downtown Hartford.
Right,
Yeah.
and I remember the audience was packed.
I was blown away by that audience because that was our very first debut.
It was sold out. It was sold out. I kept trying and reading things and learn how, like I said, to edit programs. And I've met so many people because of my little diversity in the community program. Like I said, it started back in 2008. And I've had the privilege to video a lot of people. I even did Richard Blumenthal one time. I taped him when he was at the Interval House. They had a celebration for him. I was able to record the lady that started the Interval House. So I did a lot of things that had to do with women, a lot of the places that helped abuse women. Right. Yeah, so I had an opportunity to go and film a lot of that stuff. And my show still is diversity in the community, because it's we have diverse subjects, and so we can have someone that come on and talk about abuse. So I could have someone who comes on and talks about talent, like we know our friend Habaka. Yes. I had her on the program. She was on the jazz cruise, and when I met her, we clicked, and I said, if this woman ever comes back and I can get her to come on my show. So she happened to come to Connecticut to be on the last jazz cruise that they had. Right. And so I called the TV station. I got this person in town. Do you think we can get her on the show? and they did. So I've met a lot of people, and I've had a lot of fun. But a lot of the shows that I have done have touched a lot of people's lives. People who have gone through things unimaginable that made it through, the strength of some of the people. So I tell people, whether you get 5 people to watch or if you get 2 people to watch, if somebody's sitting out there and they happen to watch your program and they're uplifted or their life has changed, it's just worth it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And the thing that resonates with me listening to you talk about your life, you're so humble with it. And for me, it's amazing, because here you are telling us all these things that you've done because you had an interest in it with no formal training. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? God has his hands all over you, because he's opened doors for you to have a television show, to write music, to sing music. That's amazing. And you did it. Why? Because you could. You made up your mind, I have an interest in this, and I'm going to do it. And you did it. So, folks, take it from Teresa. Whatever there is in your mind or in your heart that you want to do, try. So what? You don't have any training. Doesn't mean you can't do it. She's living proof that you can. Right, Teresa?
Right. You do the part that you can, all that you can, put it in the hands of God, and he'll make a way for the rest. And if I may, I'll tell you guys a little story. Years ago, when I worked for the bank, we used to have our annual employee appreciation at the AquaTurf. I went to the AquaTurf, and at the time they had the Whiffin' Poofs. Mm-hmm. They were singing on the program from Yale University. And I said to myself, I wrote a nice little song for the bank. I would love to tell the organizer about my little song. I was so excited. After the program, I went to the organizer, and I was so excited to tell her about this little song, and maybe perhaps they could add it to the program and all this. This lady looked at me like, I don't remember the words she said, but it was, in other words, it was like, I don't think so, type of thing. So a week later, I volunteered and was at a church downtown. We were volunteered to clean like the kitchen for the food pantry or whatever that was. And so I'm in the church, and most of the people had gone, and I see the piano in the church. So I sat down at the piano and I started playing, and I was singing that song that I wanted to tell the lady about that she just like cut me off. And so that Monday when I got back to work, I had a phone message that said, if you're the person that was singing that song in the church, give me a call.
Oh my goodness.
She said, you were singing a song about the bank. I'm like, oh, am I in trouble? Should I not been touching that piano or whatever? So anyway, I called the lady back, and she asked me, would you be willing to sing that song? She said, I thought it was, I said, you guys could hear me? She said, yes, your voice was like resonating all through the building. And she said, would you be willing to sing that song at the next year-end event at the AquaTurf?
Wow.
So the following year, the Whiffin' Poofs were not on the program. They had me to put together the Bank Boston chorus, and our chorus was on the program.
Awesome.
They had not only had me on the program, they actually had me on the committee, and I was working with, at the time, the president of the bank was Oz Griebel, and I know a lot of people know who he is. He passed recently, but I was actually on the committee with Oz Griebel, and that just happened because somebody heard me. So when you have a desire and your heart is right, God will make a way, even if you don't think you have the talent
Exactly.
to do it.
Exactly.
You know, so.
And look at you. Is it okay if I say this? You're in chapter 2 now?
I'm in chapter 2. Okay.
She's in chapter 2. She recently retired. And,
oh, yes.
But you don't seem retired to me because you're always busy. There's always something. She's either acting or singing or writing music for someone. So your chapter 2 is pretty busy, I would say.
And the biggest part of my chapter 2 is my grandbabies.
Yes.
My miracle babies. Again, something man said could not be.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 2 grandbabies that doctors said should not have happened. But I tell you who was with me this morning helping me water my plants was one of my grandbabies that the doctors didn't think would ever be here. We dance, we sing together. That's what life is. I mean, I can't say enough. When I see my 2 grandbabies, I know that miracles happen, you know. So my chapter 2 is just wonderful. I'm just happy because I know that God has my back.
Yes, he does.
And I just love life. I'm just happy to be here with you. And one of the reasons I'll say this too, that I came up with the song that I did for you, because watching you, I know that you have a heart for the people. And so it's tough for you. I know it's tough. I know how it is, girl. It's tough to get the, you know, but ever since I met you, everything had to do with women helping each other. And not only that, you were, even the thing with the book bags, that you want to help children when they start back to school to have the book bags. It was all about helping one another, pulling together, not pulling apart from each other. So I've always admired that for you, and that's why I've been with you all of these years.
Yes, you have.
Because
right
I love how you love people and how you brought people in to talk about mental illness and how it's no shame to go and get help. So it's all every program that you've had something to do with helping somebody else. So that's why I hang on to your girlfriend. So that's why those words, that's why the voice may not be perfect. You know, some people think they can really sing really good. I know I sing okay.
No,
but so it wasn't
the
the voice so much, but the words, that's why those words came so easily to me, because I know that that's your theme. If you see that I'm struggling and you've been there too, why don't I take what I learned and pass it on to you? That's what you've been doing.
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah, but that's it. That's it. It doesn't take much to lift one another up, help each other. When you see a sister trying to make it, it doesn't take much. So when you make it, then we'll
Exactly.
celebrate you.
Yeah.
So that's where the song came for. The words came from for the song, because I've seen you do that ever since I first met you, and I am just so proud of you, and I count it an honor to be a part of this program.
See, I'm speechless now. I don't know what to say, because I feel that way about you. I am so honored to be included in your family.
Yes,
your
that's right.
your real family.
Yeah, we adopted you. That's
And
right.
that just made my day when you guys told me that at the shower. And I mean, you're such a genuine person and such a caring person. So I am so thankful for you. God bless me with you, is what I say. That was God's doing.
Ditto.
And he puts people in your path for a reason. I firmly believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And some people stay, some people go.
That's right.
I'm hoping you're gonna stay.
Yeah, I plan to.
So because I don't plan on letting you go.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, we're gonna be crying pretty soon. I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit. I want you to tell our audience, at what point in your life did you know that you wanted to sing and write songs?
Ever since I was a kid. I used to write songs when I was like 10, 11 years old. I remember someone even came to my mom and asked if I could. They wanted to take me somewhere because I had written a song, and I don't even remember the name of the song. And my mother, because she was so loving and protective, I was crushed, but she wouldn't let me go because I was so young. But I have been writing for a long time, and like I said at the bank, which was like 30-something years ago, it was such a blessing because they loved the songs that I wrote because it had to do with teamwork and all that kind of stuff. So I've been writing for a long, long time. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I was just wondering when did that bug hit you?
Yeah.
Was it early in life? Or?
Real early in life. Real early in life, yes.
But you see what that proves. You have that dream, and no matter what, as long as you believe in yourself and you stick to it, sooner or later it comes true.
Yes.
So you did it.
Yeah.
Now, what you pretty much answered it, but I'm going to ask anyway, if you could tell the audience why you agreed to be a part of Because We Can.
Because we can.
You certainly can.
I believe that we can do anything we put our mind to. I really do. If you have a sincere heart, and my faith has a lot to do with what I'm saying. I believe if you have a sincere heart, and if you do the part that you know how to do, and God knows that you are sincere, that He'll make the other part happen. And I believe that we can do anything. I know that there's a scripture that said I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. And I truly, truly believe that. If you give it all you got, and the little piece that you don't have, the big pieces that you don't have, that I think God will make it happen. Mm-hmm. But if you have a sincere heart,
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, thank you for your time. But before you go, would you give our audience a message about pursuing your dreams or your wishes or whatever?
I would say never give up. I always try to encourage, especially people like my age or older, that be determined. Don't sit around and say, oh, I'm this age. Just think about all those exciting years that you have left, and just whatever comes to your mind that you want to try, do it. And if you make a mistake, then try something else. Just enjoy what time you have left. You're not too old. So that's the one message I push out to a lot of people is just enjoy your life no matter what stage that life you're in. If you're in that young stage, there's a lot of learning and experiencing stuff. But when you get in that older stage and you have gone through all that time raising your kids, working and all that kind of stuff, enjoy your life and try to pursue whatever you can. And like I said, if you make a mistake, so what? Okay, I know not to do that again. Just try something else. So that's my message. That would be my message.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you take notes, folks? Did you get that? Try. Don't give up. Try. And you'll be surprised at what can happen.
That's right.
Thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you too. Love you too.
If I see you struggling, my sister, and I know I've been there too, I should take what I have learned and pass it on to you. Let's lift one another up. It really doesn't take that much. Help a sister when you can. Lend a helping hand. Encourage your sister and celebrate her success. So when your turn comes around, you will also be blessed because she is me, and I am she. We are stronger together, together, together. Can't you see? I am she, and she is me. We are stronger together, together. Can't you see? She is me. I am she. She is me.
Hello, we're back. Didn't take long. And I'm here now with another phenomenal woman. Every woman that you're going to hear from tonight is phenomenal, as you will see once you listen to them. And right now I'm sitting next to Mrs. Gwendolyn Richardson. She served in the healthcare field for over 44 years, so she has a lot to share with us. Gwen, welcome.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
And that megawatt smile you have.
Thank you.
If you would please tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and all of that good stuff, and then we'll get into your career, your fabulous career.
Okay. My name is Gwendolyn Richardson. I am a recent retiree of 44 years, 8 months, and 5 days from Hartford Hospital. My career at Hartford Hospital was one that I quite enjoyed for the number of years that I was there as a registered nurse. My specialty was the operating room, for which I'm very proud and want to promote nurses out there who are interested in going into nursing to choose the operating room as a profession or as a career path. You certainly would not regret it.
So the operating room, that's where a lot of action happens.
Lots of action happens.
So nurses that are interested in learning as much as possible, that would be a good place for them to start.
It varies for individuals. I myself became very fond and interested in becoming an operating room nurse when I was in nursing school and had an opportunity to follow a patient who was having surgery. And it was love for me, as you could say, at first sight. So it's a specialty that one would need to explore. And there are a number of programs that some of the colleges provide as part of the curriculum known as capstones that will allow a nurse, if that program is involved with such facilities, in order to allow their student nurses to train in that area for about a semester.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And tell us, when did you know that you wanted to pursue nursing?
As a child, it was a long life dream that I had as becoming a nurse. It was something that I always wanted to do. I loved people. I would like to say I always got along with people. And for that reason, it was something that I pursued. It was also a career path that my mom actually encouraged me to become. Apparently, it was something she saw in me, or she vicariously lived through me. And I then pursued nursing as a background, for which I am grateful to this day, because it wasn't until I realized just before I retired how my steps had been planned by God to become a nurse. As a child, I was told by my mom that there were words spoken into my life as to I would become something that she would be very proud of. And as opportunities presented along my course in life, I walked into those opportunities that were afforded me. I was in high school. I was able to volunteer during the summers for the Red Cross, for the blood drives, and I fully enjoyed that. I also was afforded educational opportunities in some of the, I guess you would say, more premier schools here in the state of Connecticut, Miss Porter's being one, which was a summer opportunity for me. Westminster School at that time was known to be for men. I'm not quite sure today exactly what it's for, but they had summer sessions which allowed me to go to those campuses and learn and do what I did then. And when I was in high school, I had a sociology teacher who saw something in me. I believe that to be the case today. He took interest in me, and he knew that I wanted to become a nurse. And he actually drove me to St. Anselm's College in Manchester, New Hampshire, where he sat on one of the admission boards there. And I decided to pursue nursing at St. Anselm's College in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I believe my steps were ordered by God because he put people in my path as I attended college there. I graduated from high school with high honors and all the accolades that went along with being a very intelligent student at the time. And I didn't do as well in college as I was expecting to. But there was one nursing instructor who took the time to work along with me. Up until even graduation, I was a little shaky as to whether or not I would have had my diploma or degree, I should say, in the booklet when they gave it to me. And she came running across the field to tell me how well I had done on one of the nursing exams, and I was elated. And I say this to say because when I entered into nursing, there weren't a lot of people like me. And I feel that my course was ordered by God because of the environments in which I gained exposure were with a lot of patients, clients that were not like me.
Right.
Culture shock when I went to school in New Hampshire.
I could imagine.
There weren't a lot of people like me. But then when I got an opportunity to become a full-time employee and worked in administration, and the roles that I was able to not always apply for, but was actually asked if I wanted to be in, allowed me to do some things and have those accomplishments accomplished with confidence. So I really thank God for that. And I say that because there are young women, older women, young men, older men, that I would like to encourage when doors of opportunities present for you, walk in those doors. Walk in the doors. Be mindful that God does have a path for you, and you may not know what it is, but when the opportunities arise, I would strongly encourage you to take hold of those opportunities.
Thank you for that message. And it sounds like your mom had a major influence on you, your career, your entire life. Could you tell us a little bit about her and how she inspired you?
Certainly. My mom was a wonderful mom. And I say that because she was a single parent. She raised me as a single parent growing up in the greater Hartford area. We're transplants from South Carolina, for which I will never forget my past. So somehow she made it along with bringing me to Hartford. And the majority of my younger years were here in the greater Hartford area. We were given assistance through the state. We were given food stamps. She always encouraged me to do well in school, always told me that I could have the best, for me to strive for the best. She was very supportive. She was such a giving mom. She always made sure that I had what I needed, to the point where she supplemented our state income by working in others' homes and cleaning their homes. And there was one occasion where I remember a family asked her to watch their children over a very long weekend, and she chose to do so, and she brought me along. But in taking me, she made sure that I had everything that I needed, because if you would read between the lines of about what I'm about to say, is that just because I was who I was and who she was, it didn't mean that I couldn't have the same thing they had.
Exactly.
And so she wanted me to know that. And I took that lesson from that experience, and I often talk about it because of the kind of mom that she was. And I really appreciate her to this very day. I lost her 4 years ago, but she's still alive in my heart and in the memories and all the things that she taught me as I was growing up.
Well, I applaud you and your mom for your career and all that you've accomplished, because a lot of people that had grown up the way you did would have used that to say, well, I came from this background or that background, so I didn't have this and I didn't have that. But it seems like you and your mom went in a different direction.
Yes.
Where no matter where we are today, that does not determine where we're going to wind up. Correct. Years down the road. So
Correct.
Thank you for that message.
Thank you.
I
Thank
appreciate you sharing that. Now, I'm quite sure, like you said, there were not too many people that looked like you when you started your career. So would you mind sharing some of the stumbling blocks you had along the way, if any?
I can genuinely say I can't say that I really had any stumbling blocks. It seems as if opportunities and doors were opened for me. And in walking into those opportunities, I always remembered to walk into them with humility. I never let the opportunities nor the titles that were given me define me. I was still a human being like the next person sitting next to me. Right. So I never used my title as an excuse to treat people anyway, other than how I wanted to be treated. I tried very hard to be that way. And even in my various roles that I had, I was one of the first Black nurse educators in my division. Also one of the first directors in my division. But I always wanted to help people along the way. Any individual that I coached or managed, I always encouraged them, want more, do better. You don't have to settle. Set your sights on things higher, for yourselves. I need you to grow. You should want to grow.
Right. There's
opportunities. Look for them. Don't necessarily wait for them to look for you. So I cannot say that I had any barriers. I can't really say that I had, unless there were things going on behind my back that I did not know about. But I never had an issue. Although I was humble, people always knew when I said what I said, I meant it. But I was never, like ugly with it.
Right.
People would tell me, how well I exercised diplomacy, how I handled things. And I always did it, knowing no matter how stern I may have needed to be, I wanted to deliver whatever that was to an individual as I would have wanted it delivered to me. Awesome. There was no need for all the other unnecessary, anything.
Understood.
Yeah.
And tell us, if you would, one of your proudest moments during your career.
One of my proudest moments during my career is having the ability to raise 2 daughters as a single mom, and for them to be able today accomplish what they have accomplished.
Awesome.
Because juggling a full-time job, 2 young ladies, at one point I went back to school to get my master's degree. They were good. They were good girls. They were good girls. A lot of things could have happened,
right?
But they were good girls. Yes, they had their growing pains. Yes, they were kids. But my proudest moment was my ability to have raised 2 daughters, single parent, and to be a professional.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. I can see why that's your proudest moment.
Yes.
And if you wanted to, if there was something you could say to a young woman or a young man that may be considering pursuing nursing, what would you say to them?
Go for it. You are needed. There's more of us needed in the profession. Look for opportunities. Look for programs. There is a surgical technology program that I was excited to be a part of starting about 4 years before I retired. And the program seems to be a well hidden secret. But and we at Hartford Hospital collaborated and combined our programs with Manchester Community College. It is a wonderful program to attend. Basically, it is a 2-year program where one can start out in the medical field. There are a number of surgical technologists that I know that have gone on to school to become nurses. Some have gone on to become physician assistants. There's opportunities out there. Take your time, take a step at a time, as long as your steps are leading you in a direction and in a goal that you want to accomplish. I love the medical field. There are other fields. Not all fields require a college degree, but if you have the ability to do so, to go to college or go to a technical school and learn a trade or whatever it may be, just do it with humility, do it with patience, do it with a drive, and be the best you can at whatever it is that you choose to pursue.
Great advice. Thank you. Now I'm going to ask you if you would mind sharing with the audience why you agreed to participate in this year's She Is Me project, Because We Can.
Having been asked to be a part of this, I felt that I wanted to do this because it's nothing wrong with encouraging others to want more. It's free. Encouragement can come free. It doesn't have to be a paid event. It doesn't have to be anything of that nature. So I always want to encourage people to want more, to do better, to have more. Opportunities were afforded to me. I walked in those doors that were open. I would encourage others to do the same.
Thank you. And thank you for your 44 plus years of service in healthcare. If I had a hat on, I would tip it to you, honestly. Thank you so much. Because we all found out in the past year that nurses or I'll just say people in the medical profession are overlooked. But now, because of COVID-19, we realize just how important you are. And I thank you. I thank you for your service. And I thank you for agreeing and signing on to be a part of this program.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure.
Take care.
Thank you.
There we have it, folks. Mrs. Gwendolyn Richardson, 44 plus years in the healthcare industry, and 15 plus of those years she was the trainer for nurses at Hartford Hospital. What an amazing woman and an amazing story. And I'm going to ask you to stay tuned. We'll be right back with our next interview.
If I see you struggling, my sister, and I know I've been there too, I should take what I have learned and pass it on to you. Let's lift one another up. It really doesn't take that much. Help a sister when you can. Lend a helping hand. Encourage your sister and celebrate her success. So when your turn comes around, you will also be blessed, because she is me, and I am she. We are stronger together, together, together. Can't you see? I am she, and she is me. We are stronger together, together. Can't you see? She is me. I am she. She is me.
And we're back. We didn't take too long, did we? Now I'm sitting here. As I said, all the women tonight are phenomenal. And this next person, also phenomenal. And I want to introduce to you a very special young lady I had the privilege of meeting maybe about 3 years ago now. And her smile, megawatt, lights up any room when she walks in. And I call her my captain. Why? She's not just my captain, but she is a captain recently retired just last week from the Hartford Fire Department. I introduce to you Mrs. Shelley Carter, former fire captain.
Hello.
Hello.
It's so good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so excited that you decided to join us. When you answered yes, I was like, yes, she's going to do it.
There you go.
Now, Shelley, I've met you. I know quite a bit about you from following you these past few years. But if you would, please, would you let our audience get to know you? Tell us about yourself. Tell us about Shelley Carter.
Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. You're an amazing woman.
Oh, thank you.
And so who am I? I'm a mom. I have 5 amazing sons, and I have an amazing husband, Brainard. And my family is my life. I'm the youngest of 3 girls and a boy. My mom had Leona Wilson, and we moved to Connecticut when I was about 9 years old.
Okay.
So I am a firefighter, and if you had told me 25 4 years ago that I would have been a firefighter, I would have laughed at you hysterically. And so the whole idea of me being a firefighter, driver, lieutenant, captain never crossed my mind until one day I was walking down the street with my son, and he saw the fire truck on the ramp at Engine 10. And, the guys were like, bring him over. Let him see the fire truck. And I was like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. And they're like, no, bring him over. And so, the guys sat there and they talked to me about the fire service and about how I should apply. And I was like, I can't do that. I'm the girliest girl I know. Like, they don't do girl things there, right? And he just was like, he literally talked to me for an hour and convinced me to take the test. And then when I was telling someone about it, they were like, you would never pass the test anyway. And I was like,
really?
Wait a minute.
Right?
I got to do this. Now I have to do it. And so I took the test, and here we are 21 years and 9 months later.
Wow.
City of Hartford Fire Captain, retired as of last Friday.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
So you had no plans on becoming a fire person when you were going through school? None whatsoever?
No, I have a degree in journalism. I thought I was going to be a news anchor. And I love journalism. I still do. I also have a degree in photography. Love photography. Fire service never was on the radar. I literally my knowledge of the fire service was big red truck, move out of the way so he can go past because of the lights and sirens. So like I said, even just being in the fire service I just didn't think women were allowed. Literally 24 years ago, I didn't think that.
Exactly. So if you would walk us through a little bit about the whole process, the training, the exams, all of that.
Okay. So joining the fire service, now here we are 2021. It's a little bit different than when I started in 99. But basically, there's a physical agility test. There's a written exam. You have to fill out the application, of course. In Hartford, you have to be a resident. And then you just go through the process of the interviews. Once you pass all the tests, you go through the process of interviews. And then the department or the city hires you as a recruit.
Okay.
With the recruit process, in Hartford, there's 16 weeks of training. It's physical, it's classroom work, and it's learning about the job from beginning to end. It's the best job, the best career ever is being a firefighter. I don't care what anyone says. I love being a firefighter. Okay.
So any person out there now that may be on the fence and thinking, do I want to do this? You say go for it.
Absolutely. And call me. I'll tell you all about it.
You hear that, folks?
Yes,
you can call her and
please.
get all the information you want.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? The whole idea of, especially our young women, you are more than capable of becoming a firefighter. And, my stance is I am a girly girl. If they made pink turnout gear, I would be the one to wear it. So I do go, well, I did as of last Friday, go into burning buildings. Yes, we do. Put fires out. We go to medical calls and just about anything. We're 911 first responders. But once I'm done with my uniform, I go home and I put on my girl stuff and you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, depending on what your personality is, people think that, you can't do both.
Right.
But I love being a lady and I love being a firefighter. So it works really well for me.
Awesome. Awesome. So if you're on the fence, take it from Captain Shelley. Get off the fence. Try it. You won't know what can happen until you try it.
Absolutely.
Now, those boys, 5 boys.
Yes.
Talk to us about being the mom of 5 boys.
My boys are amazing. Our first son, Robert, he is in the Air Force. He's in Japan right now.
Awesome.
Super proud of him. And then we have our son, Miles. He is a recent graduate from Carnegie Mellon University. He's also an instructor for University of Cincinnati. Xavier. But he also went to school at University of Cincinnati, and he is an opera singer. And then we have Malcolm, who's graduating from Xavier High School in Middletown and is just recently signed to the football team of Western New England. And he's my big, huge teddy bear. And then my two boys, which I call God's sense of humor, because they weren't supposed to be here. But my two boys, my twins, Brendan and Brandon, they're 11. And what's so great about my boys is, and all of our boys, they will never know a world where a female could not be a firefighter.
Right, because
And
their mom was one.
exactly. And so so they go to school, like my little ones, even when Miles was young, he would go to school and say, yeah, my mom's a firefighter, to his friends. And they're like, no, she's not. She can't be a firefighter, you know. And they're like, yeah, no, she really is. Until I came into school with the uniform and they're like, oh, you're a firefighter. You know, the kids couldn't believe it. But
Right.
So talk about women empowerment and being able to transcend what people say you can't do. Even to this day, I've been told that I can't do certain things, even to this day. And it's just hysterical because I literally have superseded everything that they told me I can't do. So maybe people need to stop saying that. What
Exactly. I think so.
you think? And so, yeah, so my boys, they're wonderful. Their dad is wonderful just because he pushes me and supports me. I'm still mom at home. Yes, I still cook dinner, and yes, I still do the laundry. But I'm also a leader in my community, and I want to empower other women to do that, to be strong. Let me talk to you about my girls' camp.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I have a girls' camp that I created about 6 years ago. It's called Girls Future Firefighter Camp, and we teach young ladies ages 13 to 18 everything there is to know about careers in public safety. So that's police, fire, and EMS. And let me tell you how phenomenal this camp is. I'm sorry, but I really have to toot my own horn.
We want to hear it.
Girls Future Firefighter Camp has taken young ladies out of the Hartford area and surrounding towns and have brought them to the firehouse in Rocky Hill. And we literally teach these girls CPR, AED certifications, babysitting certifications through American Red Cross. We teach them how to advance hose lines and throw ladder, what we call throw ladders. And all these things that every career, every division that I've worked in the Hartford Fire Department, I teach these girls.
Awesome.
And that way they know, even if they're not choosing to become a firefighter, there's so many other jobs within the fire service that you can do.
So you're giving them options.
Absolutely. And it's the option that no one told me at 14, 18,
Right.
25 that I could be a firefighter.
Exactly.
And so now it is my job as a leader in the fire service to teach these young people that they can do it as well.
And I commend you for that. The first time I heard about your girls training camp, I was like, how awesome is that?
Yes.
Because you're making such a difference in their lives. As you said, even if they don't pursue a career as a firefighter, look at everything else you're putting in front of them.
Absolutely.
And you're demonstrating. You're not just talking.
Right.
You're demonstrating to them that this is what you can do with your life.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
The whole idea is to empower these young ladies because we're going to go through life as young women where there's going to be people that's going to tell you can't do it. And I don't believe any of that.
Me either.
If you put your mind to it,
you can do it.
You can do it.
Exactly. Now, folks that want to maybe get their daughters involved, or folks that may want to help you with it and may make donations, how would they do that? Tell us that. Give us that information.
So my girls camp is a program that literally my husband and I pay for. I have received some donations, which is phenomenal, but we can always use more. And so you can always look us up online at girlsfuturefirefightercamp.com. And you can also email me, Shelly Carter, at girlsfuturefirefightercamp@gmail.com.
Okay.
And we can always use donations. We are actually running the camp this year. Connecticut Fire Academy has agreed to hold our camp at the Fire Academy. So that's pretty amazing. And it's just growing. It's growing by leaps and bounds. I also just recently put a young lady through EMT school through Girls Future Firefighter Camp.
Nice.
And so we paid for her education to become an EMT. And as of today, she passed and she's now an EMT.
God bless you.
Yes.
God bless you. See, that's why your life is so wonderful.
Yeah.
because you are giving back.
Absolutely.
And you're doing what he wants us to do. You move ahead, you bring someone along with you.
Absolutely.
So, awesome. Now, you retired.
Yeah.
You retired,
I know,
our
right?
captain.
That's
What are we
wondering.
going to do? Where is our next female captain?
Well, I have been working really hard on my career, and I have built my resume. And moving forward, there's been some decisions that have to be made, but I can truly say that I've been offered a fire chief's position. I didn't say I'm going to take it. We're still working that out. And I've also been offered a position at Homeland Security. And so we're gonna decide what we're gonna do. But God is wonderful.
Yes, he is.
And it's not about me. I do know that. I know that all praise belongs to God, as well as I need to bring my other sisters with me. And also, let me just add, I didn't get here by myself.
Mm-hmm.
There's some amazing women in the Hartford Fire Department that paved the way for me.
Mm-hmm.
One of which is Zandra Watley. She was the first female captain in the fire marshal's office. She should have been chief of our department. I'm just going to put it out there.
All right.
But she wasn't. And unfortunately, she left before that was solidified. So here I am. I'm not gone completely. I just kind of stepped away for a second. And so don't get too relaxed out there, fire world. Shelly's still hanging around. And so we'll see what happens next.
Right. And you're grooming young women that may want to pursue that career. I just can't stop talking about that.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Come on,
Something
y'all.
that you and your husband wanted to do, so you did it yourselves.
Right.
So we got to help folks. We got to help the future firefighters, the young ladies. So we got to get behind Mrs. Carter and do what we can to make sure that this camp continues and make sure that it grows. I'm not saying what you need to do. I'm going to leave that to you. Let God put it on your heart. But just keep her in mind. We need to continue to support this worthwhile organization.
I am definitely looking for some young ladies for this year. So email me, reach out to me. Your daughters are going to say, your nieces, they're going to say, I don't want to do that. It's a firefighter. But bring them anyway.
Exactly.
Because by the time they are done, they're like, when's the next one? They love it. And so, there's huge success stories. There's firefighters that came through my camp that was not in the fire service, and now they're hired career firefighters in towns out of, around the state.
Right.
So I'm telling you, at first they're going to be like, no, I'm not interested, but it's a wonderful opportunity, and they can see futures with my girls camp.
Awesome. Now, if you would please, I'm a little bit selfish.
Okay.
So would you please tell our audience why you signed on to this year's She Is Me Because We Can?
Because we can.
I love it.
I mean,
love it.
is there anything else to say? I met you at the gym, and Carla, I know we got to get back. But so I met you at the gym, and the whole idea is, when you first walk into a gym and you hadn't been working out, and you're feeling a little intimidated, a little shy,
A lot intimidated.
right? And a lot shy. My goal is to reach out, because that's what I did with you.
Yes, you
I reached
did.
out to you and I said, come here, let's, I'll work out with you. And so here I am with you 3 years later.
Exactly.
Saying to the audience out there that there is nothing impossible.
Nothing.
And even if you feel intimidated by it, even if you feel like it's too much, or maybe you shouldn't, or you're not sure, what I usually tell people is just close your eyes, hold your nose, and jump in. Because
Just
we
jump.
can.
Yeah, we can.
Because once you get in, you're like, wait a minute, I thought this was impossible. And so it's not.
It's not.
So whatever that dream is you have, give me a second. I just need
no, I
just
want
give
you
me a
to
second.
just go.
Can I just tell you that
Just
whatever
look right
dream,
there and tell them what you want them to know.
whatever dream you have, whether it's owning your own business, whether it's joining the fire or police services, whether it's, creating a plan of whatever action you want, do it. Because we can. And so it's not going to be easy. Nothing came easy for me, and it still doesn't. But I put a smile on my face. We are strong women. Our shoulders are broad. We take care of babies. We push babies out. Mm-hmm. You tell me that that's not the most important thing in the world? So what we're faced out there in the streets, what we're faced out there in our careers, it's just minor. Mm-hmm. It's minor conversation. And you just pluck it off your shoulder, as my husband says.
Exactly. And
you just keep doing what you're doing, because in the end, you're going to win. You can do this. There's nothing impossible.
And if I could add, don't let anyone tell you that you can't.
That's right.
Because you can. They may think you can't, but you know deep down inside you can. As long as you trust and believe in yourself, there's nothing you can't accomplish.
Right.
And to my former guest words, Teresa, doesn't matter what age. Hey, I'm in my chapter 2, and there's some things I'm going to try. So, hey, that's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'm in my chapter 2 too.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Not yet.
No, it's all good.
Thank you so much, Shelley.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate you, and let me know what you decide, because I'm going to be waiting to hear what that next title will be.
Oh, it's a big one. It's a big title like this. I'm loving it.
Awesome. Take care.
Take care of you as well.
All right, folks, that concludes our interviews for this segment, but we're going to do a part 2. We had some folks that were supposed to participate in part 1. One person I will share with you is Ms. June Williams, our funeral director that was on the program. And due to COVID, I have to tell you this because I need people to understand that just because we have been vaccinated and all of that, and they're opening up the state, is not finished. It's not. She could not participate this evening because the funeral home that she works with has been having back-to-back funerals. And when I say back-to-back, I'm saying 2 or 3 per day. So she just did not have the energy, and I would not want her to do that to herself. She needs the rest mentally and physically. So COVID is not over, folks. And she asked me to tell you to wear your mask, social distance, regardless of what they say as far as the restrictions are being lifted. I know we're all tired of it. I know I am. But think about what could happen. She's seeing it firsthand, because she said most of the funerals that they're handling are due to COVID deaths. So just let that sink in for a little bit, okay? Not to bring anyone down, but I wanted to explain why she was not here. Also, Ronnie Sanders, the owner of Power Music Radio, will be joining us in the second part of Because We Can. Also because of COVID. She has not been vaccinated yet, and she has some health issues that she was not willing to take the chance. And I don't blame her. I don't want anyone to be jeopardized. That's why we're here at Access TV tonight instead of being in a theater somewhere, because normally She Is Me is in person. We're in a theater setting. But this year, I canceled it last year totally. This year, I put it off, and I said, well, I need to do something. But I reached out to Access TV, and thankfully, Mr. McCauley was accommodating, and here we are. So look for those 2 women in part 2, which will probably be in the fall. Watch social media. I'll be letting you know when we set the date. We'll also have, for those of you that are fitness buffs, we'll also have a bodybuilder on the program, a female bodybuilder. So you'll want to tune in for that. And we'll also have someone to address mental illness. So we have another packed show, part 2 of Because We Can, to finish out 2021. And we had a couple of questions. One was addressed to June Williams, the funeral director. And the person wanted to know how she was handling self-care, dealing with her job during COVID. She's not here, as I just said, so I will pose that question to her and get an answer for you. And the second question was about the project. And I think all of my contributors have answered it at one point or another tonight. Why was the program called Because We Can? And Shelley's just said it. Because we can. That's why I called it that. And that's why you had the opportunity to meet these women tonight, because they're all women that I admire and respect. And I know what they do in their job and in their life. So I thought they would be the perfect candidates to demonstrate to you that we do things because we can. And we believe and trust in our thoughts, our dreams, our wishes, and we go after it. And we want you to do the same. I put this program together because we needed something to lift us up during this difficult time. And we needed to understand that there's things that we want to do that are not always easy. But if you are willing to put in the work and you trust and believe in yourself, there's nothing you can't accomplish. And if there's nothing else that I wanted you to get out of this program this evening, that's what I wanted you to get. To believe and trust in yourself. Go after your dreams. Life is short, and we only get one time around. So make the most of it. Don't leave here regretting that you didn't try something that you loved or you had an interest in. And I'm going to get off my soapbox and see if we have any more questions. No more questions? Lots of comments, but no questions. So I am going to say thank you to Access TV, Mr. J. Stan McCauley, and his staff for allowing us this platform this evening. And we will be back with you in the fall, don't have the date yet, for Because We Can, Part 2. Thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget, if you want to support She Is Me in our annual Backpack Challenge, you can make a donation at Cash App, $Cherie Paid. Or you can reach out to me on social media. Thank you so much for tuning in.
My sister, and I know I've been there too. I should take what I have learned and pass it on to you. Let's lift one another up. It really doesn't take that much. Help a sister when you can. Lend a helping hand. Encourage your sister and celebrate her success. So when your turn comes around, you will also be blessed because she is me, and I am she. We are stronger together, together, together. Can't you see? I am she, and she is me. We are stronger together, together. Can't you see? She is me. I am she. She is me.